Day number 9 of the 12 days of MLB rankings is here, and of course that means we're ranking the best DH from every team in Major League Baseball, with an asterisk. Some teams just don't really have a DH right now, like the Blue Jays or the Padres, so I had to either omit them for the list or put someone that made the most sense. Like for the Padres, I'm not putting Manny Machado, who Fangraphs has as their projected DH. But for the most part, most of these guys are going to be everyday DHs for their Major League team. It's just a weird position because a lot of people are going to use it for off days, like the Angels. Mike Trout's probably going to DH a lot. Regardless, I still hope you guys enjoy these rankings. As always, remember tomorrow is going to be relief pitchers, followed by the top 30 pitchers in Major League Baseball, and then the top 50 players in the league on Christmas Day. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that content. It's the DH video. Let's get going into it. Getting the top 30 started at the number 30 spot, Washington Nationals DH Jake Alu. Jake Alu made his debut last year as a 26-year-old in 51 games, did not particularly play well. 226 average, 282 on base, 289 slugging for a 571 OPS for an OPS plus of 59. Again, guys, I gotta get ahead of this. Some teams don't have an everyday DH. Some teams have a guy that's just randomly filling in. Right now, Jake Alu is the projected DH for the Nationals. That's why I'm ranking him. Do I think he's their best option? No, but he's the projected one. He's coming in at 30. Just not much of a hitter, and that's all I really care about at this position is how do you hit. Next up at number 29, I've got Taylor Trammell, DH for the Mariners. Again, doesn't feel right, but that's kind of what we're rocking with right now. Trammell only played 22 games last year, played a total of 116 in his Major League career. 15 homers, 16 doubles, 39 RBIs, hitting 168 with a 270 on base, 368 slugging for a 639 OPS and an OPS plus at 80. Friend of the channel, Taylor Trammell, but right now can't really rank him ahead of many other people. For the 28th best DH in Major League Baseball, Marlins projected DH, Avisail Garcia. Remember when Avisail Garcia was good? That was like only a few years ago, but since joining the Marlins, he's been pretty horrible, battled some injuries as well. 316 slugging for an OPS at 576 and OPS plus at 61. It wasn't much better last year. In fact, it was significantly worse. Garcia not looking great. Don't know what's going on there with him in Miami, but he looks bad. Mark Vientos of the New York Mets is up next at the number 27 spot for DHs in Major League Baseball. He's probably going to be in a platoon role at this position for the Mets this upcoming season. You want him to face the lefties, crush his lefties. He actually did play okay at times last year. In 65 games, 9 homers, 5 doubles, and a triple with 22 RBIs, hitting 211 with a 253 on base, 367 slugging for a 620 OPS and an OPS plus at 69. Nice. He hits the ball hard. He's got crazy power. He just has to hit the ball way more consistently in order to be successful. Maybe next year going into the DH role is exactly what he needs to finally break out. Just outside the top 25 at number 26, I've got Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies. Charlie Blackmon got old really quickly. You know he's going to be 37 next year? While he has been like a league average hitter, when you're talking about DHs across the board, it's just not really going to cut it for a guy who's getting older as well, playing in Colorado. 96 games last year, 8 homers, 24 doubles, 5 triples, and 40 RBIs, hitting 279 with a 363 on base, 440 slugging, and an 803 OPS for an OPS plus at 107. Like, am I being harsh? Sure, but pretty much everybody on this list is a league average hitter at worst, so you got to see some power numbers there from Charlie Blackmon to get jumped up a little bit here. Getting the top 25 started at number 25, projected DH for the Pirates, Connor Joe. Connor Joe had a pretty decent year at times last year, similarly to Charlie Blackmon and the previously mentioned hitters. He's about a league average guy, OPS plus at 107 last year with 11 homers, 31 doubles, 4 triples, and 42 RBIs, hitting 247 with a 339 on base, 421 slugging for an OPS at 760. Connor Joe's probably going to get a pretty decent shot next year. He's shown at times he can be a plus hitter. Show a little more power, he can move up these rankings. Coming in at number 24 for the Cleveland Guardians, I've got Kyle Manzardo. Now, Manzardo has not yet played a game at the Major League level. He, of course, was a part of the Aaron Savali trade. Looked really good in the Arizona Fall League this past fall, where he hit 272 with a 340 on base, 565 slugging, and a 905 OPS with 6 home runs, 7 doubles, and 19 RBIs. He's crushed the minor leagues at pretty much every single level. Was great at Washington State in college. I'm really interested to see how aggressive the Guardians are with him this year and how well he can perform at the Major League level, because he does have the makings of a very, very good hitter. Next up at number 23, I've got Rangers projected DH Ezekiel Duran. Duran actually had a really nice season last year in 2023. Weirdly enough, he played a variety of different positions, almost every single one in the infield, just didn't play catcher. So to call him a DH feels weird, but that's where he's projected right now, even though he's more of a utility man. 122 games, 14 homers, 22 doubles, 46 RBIs, hitting 276 with a 324 on base, 443 slugging, and a 768 OPS for an OPS plus at 106. He definitely started off the year a little bit hotter than he ended, but I like what I saw in his 24-year-old kind of rookie-ish season here from Duran. Underrated player here coming in at number 22, that's Jake Fraley, DH for the Cincinnati Reds. Could be Cess as well, Christian Encarnacion Strand, but I already ranked him. I'm not going to double rank him. Jake Fraley in 111 games games last year, 15 homers, 18 doubles, 65 RBIs with a sneaky 21 stolen bases, hitting .256 with a .339 on base, .443 slugging, and a .783 OPS for an OPS plus at 109. Really solid offensive player, gets on base, hits for more power than you'd expect because he plays in Cincinnati. All around, just solid player Jake Fraley here at 22. But it's the DH position. Got to put up better offensive numbers to get ranked higher. Just missing on the top 20 at number 21, I've got Nelson Velasquez, DH for the Kansas City Royals. Let's talk about this crazy 50-game stretch he had, where in those 53 games, 17 homers, 6 doubles, 34 RBIs, hitting .235 with a .302 on base, .586 slugging for an OPS plus at 888 and an OPS plus at 136. Is this going to stick for Nelson Velasquez? Well, he did have a crazy high barrel rate, and he did hit the ball pretty hard. So there's a world where he can definitely show some legit power at the major league level, especially because he did to all fields. Am I banking on it though? I don't think he's going to have like a 40 home run pace this upcoming season, which is why I leave him just outside the top 20 here. In the top 20 starter at number 20, Ryan O'Hearn of the Baltimore Orioles. You might remember Ryan O'Hearn from back in 2018 having a crazy hot stretch with the Royals. Really hadn't done much since then, but the Orioles got their hands on him and made the most of it. 14 homers, 22 doubles, and 60 RBIs in 112 games, hitting .289 with a .322 on base, .480 slugging, and an .801 OPS for an OPS plus at 122. With that left-handed swing and that power potential, Ryan O'Hearn does project pretty well at Baltimore with the Orioles at DH. Yeah, dropping down quite a bit. At number 19, I gotta put Giancarlo Stanton, and honestly, feels even a little generous, like I'm still remembering the good old days. But truthfully, Giancarlo is a shell of himself. Yeah, we're just a couple years away from him hitting 30 home runs a year, but he just looked old, he looked slow, still hits the ball hard, but not as hard as he used to. Is this the beginning of the end of Giancarlo? 101 games, 24 homers, 13 doubles, 60 RBIs, hitting .191 with a .275 on base, .420 slugging for a .695 OPS, and an OPS plus at 87. Yikes. I put him inside the top 20 because, like, would we be surprised if he was sick next year? No. He still hits the ball hard, but wow, he has been atrocious. And he's never healthy either. Keeping it in the American League East, at number 18, I've got Masataka Yoshida of the Boston Red Sox. Yoshida started off the year so hot, but towards the end of the year really just kept hitting the ball into the ground just way too much, and it did hurt his numbers. Still though, a great rookie season for him. 15 homers, 33 doubles, 3 triples, and 72 RBIs with a .289 average, .338 on base, .445 slugging, and a .783 OPS. Gave him an OPS plus at 109. There's a lot of things in his game that you do like he doesn't strike out. Maybe you would like to see him walk a little bit more, but I think as he gets more adjusted to Major League Baseball, we're going to see him improve. He's a very talented hitter. Just can't get too aggressive with him just yet until he starts to hit the ball in the air a little more. For the 17th ranked DH in Major League Baseball, it's a double up on the rankings. Hate to do it, but I had to for the Angels. That's going to be with Brandon Drury. And it would make sense. Like, defensively, he's not the best at second base, would even probably play a little bit of first. At DH, weirdly, it hurts his ranking because offensively, he's not as elite anymore at this position, but still 26 homers, 30 doubles, 83 RBIs with a .262 average, .306 on base, .497 slugging, and an .803 OPS for an OPS plus at 114 is really solid. It's just not elite at the DH position, which is why he's a little more middle of the pack, but Brandon Drury is a good hitter for sure. Similarly, at number 16, I've got Danny Jansen of the Toronto Blue Jays. Another double rank here. There's going to be a couple more. Promise not to do it too often, but yeah, I'm just like not putting Vlad Guerrero Jr. at the DH spot for the Blue Jays, which is what FanGraphs projected. So we go with Danny Jansen because he does play DH a little bit. In 86 games last year, 17 homers, 15 doubles, 53 RBIs. He's a power hitting catcher who can play a little DH. Got pop in that bat. His true value is behind the plate, but right now for the Blue Jays picking a DH, yeah, middle of the pack here at 16. And then quite literally at the halfway point of today's video, coming in at number 15, Christopher Morel of the Chicago Cubs. Finally, some real DHs. Now, he should be playing the field because he has an absolute cannon of an arm, but the Cubs seem to want to use him at the DH position, so that's where he gets ranked. Last year, 107 games, 26 homers, 17 doubles, 70 RBIs, hitting .247 with a .313 on base, .508 slugging, .821 OPS for an OPS plus at 116. He hits the ball really hard. He's a great athlete. Like, there's a lot to like about Christopher Morel, and I really hope the Cubs play him more because he's an absolute spark plug. The guy is so fun to watch. Pimps home runs, crushes them. He's got the cat whisker eye black. Morel's way too good to not play every day. Even if it's at DH, I think it's worth it for the Cubs. For the 14th best DH in Major League Baseball, shout out the Oakland A's, Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker was a stud in college at Mississippi State. I believe he won the Golden Spikes Award, one of the best players in college. Finally got a chance last year with the Oakland A's, played 137 games, broke out, 30 homers, 20 doubles, 69 RBIs. Nice. Hitting .246 with a .329 on base, .488 slugging for an OPS at 817 and an OPS plus at 130. Happy for Brent Rooker, really nice guy. Was such a stud in college, so it's great to see it finally pay off for him. Got a shot in Oakland, and he was phenomenal. Last of the double ranks here, coming in at number 13, I've got Edward Julian of the Minnesota Twins. Again, Twins will probably cycle through some guys here, switch them out from the field, but Edward Julian projected to be the main DH right now. And if you remember from the second base video, he did some things great. 109 games, 16 homers, 16 doubles, 37 RBIs, hitting .263 with a .381 on base, .459 slugging for an .839 OPS and an OPS plus at 130. A 16% walk rate with a 31% K rate is disgusting. He's only 24, 25 years old. Edward Julian could be a huge piece for the Twins next season. Another utility player coming in at the DH spot at number 12, Brendan Donovan of the St. Louis Cardinals. Just kind of a man without a position right now. DH makes the most sense. Funny enough, won a Gold Glove as a utility player back in 2022. He's a really solid hitter, boring, but solid. 95 games last year, 11 homers, 10 doubles, 34 RBIs. Hitting .284 with a .365 on base, .422 slugging for an OPS at 787, a career high, with an OPS plus at 115. Doesn't strike out, gets on base, hits to all fields. He's not your prototypical DH of a guy who hits for big power, but he does everything you want in terms of value at the plate, so he's going to be just outside the top 10. Quite literally outside the top 10 at number 11, Wilmer Flores of the San Francisco Giants. Love some Wilmer. Former Met, always going to show that Mets bias. But to be fair, Wilmer was a beast last year. 126 games, 23 homers, 22 doubles, 60 RBIs, hitting .284 with a .355 on base, .509 slugging for an .863 OPS and an OPS plus at 136. They use him in platoon role. They're smart about it. Face the lefties, face the easy righties, and it paid off big time. In terms of WRC plus last year, he was one of the top DHs in the game, and he only struck out 14% of the time while walking 9%. Like, these are awesome things to see from Wilmer Flores, who had probably the best year of his career. Getting the top 10 started at number 10, I've got Eloy Jimenez of the Chicago White Sox. I'm not giving up on Eloy just yet. It was a disappointing season. Wasn't great. Dude can't ever stay healthy, but when he does, I know it's going to be such a good payoff, and he's only going to be 27 next year. Still, only 18 homers, 23 doubles, 64 RBIs last season, but he hit .272 with a .317 on base, .441 slugging for a .758 OPS, and an OPS plus at 104. I know I'm probably projecting here. He didn't play like a top 10 DH by any means, but Eloy is just too good. He's too good. If the White Sox ever trade him, or he goes to another team, he's going to have that breakout season and be a stud, like he was his rookie year in 2019. Keeping it in the AL Central at number 9, Kerry Carpenter of the Detroit Tigers. I don't care if I'm being too aggressive. I love Kerry Carpenter. He deserves all the love and praise. He's been a stud. All this guy does is mash. He doesn't care about playing the field. He's pretty horrible out there, but at the plate, crushes it. In 2 seasons, 149 games, 26 homers, 21 doubles, 74 RBIs, hitting .273 with a .334 on base, .474 slugging, and an .808 OPS for an OPS plus at 121. Barrel king, hits the ball hard, hits it in the air. Kerry Carpenter's a beast, a name you need to get to know it. So hopefully, I educated you today about one of the better DHs in the game. Another criminally underrated DH in Major League Baseball at number 8, Luke Raley of the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, he'll platoon with Harold Ramirez, so that platoon is probably one of the better ones in all of baseball. And Luke Raley crushes balls. Another barrel king, hard hit king. In 118 games last year for the Rays, 19 homers, 23 doubles, 49 RBIs, and a sneaky 14 stolen bases, hitting .249 with a .333 on base, .490 slugging, and an .824 OPS for an OPS plus at 126. Does strike out a bit, but Luke Raley does have big power potential, and that's all you need at the DH spot, especially with how the Rays rocking a platoon. He's been great. Next up at number 7, I've got Mitch Garver, current free agent. Now, I know he could have been ranked as a catcher, but realistically, he's more of a DH nowadays if you really want to get the most value out of him. Hasn't played 100 games in his season since 2018. I think part of the reason why is the catching. Just DH him, and you could get a plus bat here, because when he hits, 87 games last year, 19 homers, 11 doubles, 50 RBIs, hitting .270 with a .370 on base, 500 slugging, and an .870 OPS for an OPS plus at 134. When he was in the Rangers lineup, it made a huge difference. One of the reasons why they won a World Series. Someone's going to sign this guy. It's going to be a great move, and he's going to mash like he always does. Just missing on the top 5, at number 6, I've got Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves. Absolute scumbag off the field, but when we're talking about the just straight up numbers, he was one of the best DHs in baseball last year. Marcell Ozuna quietly, because everybody hates him as you should, 144 games, 40 homers, 29 doubles, doubles, 100 RBIs, hitting 274 with a 346 on base, 558 slugging, and a 905 OPS for an OPS plus at 138. He was back to being a barrel king. He was back to hitting the ball hard. As much as I hate to admit it, Marcell Ozuna was a stud last year. Pretty crazy the Braves still roster this guy, but I mean, he hit 40 homers and drove in 100 RBIs. I gotta rank him highly as much as I don't wanna, especially because he's not going anywhere. Getting the top 5 started at number 5, I've got Jorge Soler, free agent, formerly of the Miami Marlins. Soler just mashes. I mean, you guys know it. You've seen him hit. Last year, 36 homers, 24 doubles, and 75 RBIs with the Marlins in that park, which is so hard to hit in. Hitting 250 with a 341 on base, 512 slugging, 853 OPS for an OPS plus at 128. Shocking to me he has not been signed yet because I would want this guy on my team right now. Crazy power, barrel rates through the roof. Gets on base, didn't strike out last year, cut the strikeout rate down to 24%. A lot to like about Jorge Soler. He's a top 5 DH. Just slightly ahead of him at number 4, I've got JD Martinez, also free agent right now. If it wasn't for Ohtani going back to the Dodgers, I don't think he'd be leaving because he was great last year for them. In 113 games, 33 homers, 27 doubles, 103 RBIs, hitting 271 with a 321 on base, 572 slugging, and an 893 OPS for an OPS plus at 134. He was an all-star. He was a beast. Had a great season at age 35 because he was back with his hitting coach, his hitting guru, which is when you saw him have those crazy years in Boston. So it'll be interesting to see how JD does adjust if his hitting guru isn't going to be with him, but even still, one of the better DHs in the game, even at 36 years old. For the 3rd best DH in Major League Baseball, I got to give some love to Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, Schwarber's going to hit like 180, but it doesn't really matter because he now has back-to-back seasons of 46-plus home runs, and he gets on base like crazy at the top of the order. Like, that's exactly what you need. On base, with power. He's not getting you hits, but you don't really care. And now that he's going to be DHing, you don't even have to worry about the glove anymore. It's irrelevant. At the plate, one of the better power hitters in the game. Last year in 160 games, 47 homers, 104 RBIs, with a 343 on base, 474 slugging, gave him an OPS at 817 for an OPS plus at 122. Schwarber's a stud. Almost had an 18% walk rate last year. He's very good at the plate. I don't feel great doing this, but coming in at number 2 is going to be Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros. He has an argument for number 1. I mean, we know who's going to be there, but strictly talking about hitting, he's probably 1A or 1B. I don't really even like calling him 2 because Yordan is just such a freak. Wasn't as healthy as you'd hoped last year, but even still in 114 games, 31 homers, 24 doubles, 97 RBIs, hitting 293 with a 407 on base, 583 slugging for a 990 OPS. Career OPS of 978 for this dude, a 162 game average of 43 homers, 38 doubles, and 128 RBIs. Just strictly on the offensive side, it makes him one of the best players in baseball. Yordan is so much fun to watch. But of course, coming in at number 1, taking over that spot from Yordan last year is going to be Shohei Ohtani. He's been this good of a hitter while also pitching. He's going to be only hitting next year for the Dodgers in a loaded lineup with a ton of protection in a very hitter-friendly left-handed hitting park. Can't wait to see what Ohtani can do. Last year with the Angels, 44 homers, 26 doubles, 8 triples, 95 RBIs, stealing 20 bases, hitting 304 with an American League best 412 on base, Major League Baseball best 654 slugging, and a 1066 OPS for an OPS plus at 184, the best in the entire league, and that was while pitching. And he also was hurt. Tommy John, whatever, his elbow is all messed up, and he still is just a god at the plate. Ohtani is the best hitter in all of baseball right now. He's going to come in as the number 1 DH for sure. So there they are, my rankings for the best DHs from every single team in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking about it down in the comment section below. When strictly talking about hitting, is it Ohtani or Yordan Alvarez? Those are clearly the top 2. I'd love to know who you have at number 1. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media. GiraffeNeckMarc links are in the description, and that's where I'll wrap up the video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for the reliever rankings. Bye!